Hey, I'm Brad Shore. I'm a licensed therapist. Welcome to this week's Ask a Shrink. Today I want to talk to you about calling in sick at work. Some people do it when they're actually sick, and others call sick at the drop of a hat to get some time off. There can be many implications about that. Let's talk about it on today's video. If you're really sick, of course you need to call in. You don't want to spread your disease, your bad cold to all your coworkers. So of course, if you're sick, you stay home, you take the time for yourself to heal and get better. The question though is if you're not sick, to be aware that a lot more people are getting fired at their workplace nowadays due to so much information being online on social media about what people are really doing. According to one report, and let me read it to you right now, almost half of employees have been caught lying about being sick by their bosses checking out their social media posts, and 12% have found themselves fired. So bottom line is you're risking your employment if you're lying about being sick and you're not. Employers are checking social media to find out what's really going on. So some of the things you can take from this is never air your work woes online. Keep that stuff to yourself and don't post pictures about yourself if in any way, not just related to the workplace, they're inappropriate. It can come back to bite you in the butt later on. If you need someone to talk to, don't do it online. Find a good friend and just share, someone you can bitch and rant with. Remember to take a second before you post. Sometimes people do it impulsively, put information out there, and only regret it the next day. And remember to manage your privacy settings. They're there for a reason. They're there to help you. It's a way of keeping your private life private. So with that said, if you're calling out sick and you're not really sick, the question you need to ask yourself is, how is that making you feel about yourself? If you're feeling really guilty and carrying around that guilt and beating yourself up and having low self-esteem because of that, then that's something you may want to think about. Maybe there's other options and other ways to get time off from work without you then carrying that weight and the guilt. So if you need a mental health day, you need a mental health day. That's all there is to it. You can't function well at work if you're not emotionally ready to be at work. So if you're debating about this inside, you can ask yourself, will it affect others? How might it affect others? My coworkers, who will have to come rescue me later? Who will have to come do my work? Who will be on overload because of me not going in? You can ask yourself, will the work get done? Will certain clients be served? Will sales calls be made? And ask yourself, is there a pattern to this? If there's a pattern to it, just notice it. Don't judge it. Just realize that when you need time off, when you need a mental health day, when you're under emotional stress perhaps, you're developing a pattern maybe of calling in sick. Well, that's a red flag right there. Better to address the underlying issues and deal with what's really going on rather than continually calling sick and perhaps losing your job. If you're going through an emotionally rough time and you just can't deal with life, that's fair. That's a fair comment. Be honest with your boss about that. That's the way to handle it. And then talk to your doctor and ask if the condition you have qualifies under the Americans with Disabilities Act. So there's a lot that can be covered. So look at those options as well. So with this video, I'm not telling anybody what to do or not do. This is just to get people thinking about their work habits, their use of sick time, and to try to understand why you're not calling sick at all. Perhaps you are sick and you want to be the good employee. You want to be the good little boy or girl who always does things perfectly. That's not healthy. On the flip side, you have people who are abusing it and really need to be in mental health treatment or looking for more part-time work as opposed to full-time work when they realize that all they can really function with is part-time work. And they need to address that then as well. Talking to a therapist about it, journaling about it, understanding yourselves on a deeper level. That's what this video is all about. It's about understanding ourselves, our motivations for why we do what we do, and having a clear conscience about what we're doing, so we're not carrying around the baggage of guilt. Because if we're carrying guilt, we're only going to beat up ourselves about that. So leave me some comments below if you'd like to chime in on this topic. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel before you go. And until next week, I'm Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.